Welcome back to the Bhavcast. Today we got Philadelphia comedian and man with such pretty eyes that you're not going to see right now. Please welcome Tyler Wolf.
I can't show them my eyes.
No, I need the tease.
No showing the eyes.
Yeah.
Well, you can picture them. They're a nice blue.
A nice ocean.
Yeah, nice ocean blue.
Does that one song by like Billie Eilish really speak to you? I think it's called like Ocean Eyes or something.
I can't say I've heard much Billie Eilish. I know who she is, but I don't even know what song you're referring to.
It's called Ocean Eyes, and she just talks about nice blue eyes that you can swim in.
Oh, that one was written about me. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. That's about me.
You guys go way back like that. Oh, man. Tyler, we're doing Philly's Funniest tonight. Are you ready?
I am. We'll find out in about 6 hours if I'm ready. I think I'm pretty ready.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think you're going to move on? Is this the first round for you?
This is the first round, yeah. Am I going to move on? I mean, I think I'm going to have a good set. But, you know, the game of Philly's Funniest is...
Especially first round.
Bring a bunch of people. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm on last.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it's the 9:30 show. So I think I'll be going on after 11. I wouldn't be surprised if people are just like over it.
Yeah.
So
no, but like
it'll be up in the air, but it'll be a fun time because
Yeah.
that room and that club is just so fun. So I'm looking forward to it, and I just want to get a good video out of it.
Well, I think you will. But you have any killers on there like besides you? Like who else is on there tonight with you?
I don't know the full lineup. I know Scott Armstrong, Jared McCallie, and Paul Carson are the names that like
Ring a bell.
Yeah, that ring a bell that I saw on my night.
Yeah, Paul Carson has that one joke about like, you know, old grandmas that's really scary and like good. Like he beat me with that 2 years ago and I was like, oh.
Old grandmas.
Yeah, he does like
He's got a lot of really good stuff. I saw him for the first time in a while last week, and he did an entire 5 minutes on just Stephen Hawking and like destroyed the room.
I believe it. He looks like Mr. Clean, which I love that. You know?
He does. He's got a funny way of talking. He's a very good comic.
Now, let me ask you something. When you're at home, because your brother won Philly's Funniest, does he ever just like fucking, Tyler, you suck? Like, does he do that like Thanksgiving or something?
People assume that. We have a good relationship. Our family's fine. That's what people used to always say. Like when he won, they're like, "Oh, I bet you're pissed about that." I'm like, why would I be pissed at my brother? You think I wanted you to win?
Yeah.
No, I would much prefer my brother to win Philly's Funniest than some random ass comic. I was in the audience cheering for him and hoping that he won. So I think other people are just jealous or don't, understand what it's like to have a good relationship with a sibling. So
yeah, you have like two other siblings, right? You have another brother and a sister.
Yeah, Jamie's a twin, so I have a younger sister as well, and then we have an older brother. So it's the four of us. We're all very close, and we don't. I mean, we used to bicker and like punch each other all the time, but not anymore. We're very.
What is the
tight-knit.
age gap between all of you guys?
So my older brother, is 22 months older than me, so just under 2 years. So like he was 2 years above me in high school and growing up. So like us and our friends are all very close. And then Jamie and Abby are 2.5 years younger than me.
So you guys are
three and a half years younger than me. So yeah, it was four kids in 5.5 years. So we're all pretty close in age.
You guys were like all in school together too, which is kind of cool. Maybe like elementary school. But
Yeah, there was 1 year in elementary school where my brother was in 6th grade, and then Abby and Jamie, I think, were in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And that was 1 year where like we all took the same bus and we would all come home together. But besides that, like my older brother would be in high school, I'd be in middle school, they'd be in lower school, so it didn't quite work out. But there was 1 year where we were all at the same school together. We thought it was the fucking coolest thing ever.
I mean, hell, like that would be the coolest. Like actually having.
Like at the time, I was in 4th grade, and I'm just like, yeah, that's my little sibling in kindergarten. Let me go like pound the kindergartners, and say hi to the 6th graders. It's no big deal. I'm just in 4th grade, so I know people in high places.
And like we're all the teachers were like, oh, here comes another wolf. You know, like did you ever have that?
That happened more so. I mean, I think in elementary school, you're so like young.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like we're all just kind of growing up. But once it got to like high school, there was like we had real personalities and we're real people. And so there was like reputations that kind of preceded us. Like I know a specific science teacher who already had a bad opinion of Jamie before he entered her class. And then he didn't help. But with my older brother and me, we set him up for failure, I believe.
Yeah. Since like I have an older sister, but like we never were like she's 7 years older than me, so we didn't really cross over too much. But it was always like you go into high school and be like, oh, your last name is Patel. Like, oh, is this Patel like your brother or sister? And I was like, man, we're gonna play this game like all day. Like, no.
Yeah, it's easier when you have a hyphenated weird last name because everyone's like, oh, I know. You're Jamie, you're so-and-so's brothers. Yeah,
it's like funny you bring up that science teacher thing because when I was in middle school, Miss Acuff, our biology teacher, she told me to become a dentist because dentists had the highest rate of suicide at the time.
Jesus Christ. How old were you?
This had to be like 7th, 8th grade.
Was that literally what she said out loud?
Yeah.
She said you should become a dentist because they kill themselves?
Yeah. And she had great, like she had a pause in there, so she knew her timing. Like she was coming at me.
Timing. Wow. Yeah. That is. Did she get fired?
No, I mean she was like a big obese lady, so it's kind of like I was being a little ruckus in class. I was, and she just wanted me to shut up, so she just like threw that jab at me.
Still, my mom was a teacher. She just retired, and I feel like you have to be able to have restraint if you want to become a teacher. If you're gonna like call kids cunts, like you probably shouldn't. You should look at other professions.
Yeah, well, Miss Acuff was, what do you call it? She was not the nicest of ladies.
Yeah, the science teacher that I'm thinking of in particular, she didn't like me because I was like the kind of student that never did any of the work. Like, so I was a bad student, I guess. But I did solid on like tests and stuff, so I managed. But there was one particular moment I was always horrible at doing the reading. Like I have ADD, so I could never focus to actually get through the reading. Like even Spark Notes was too long for me.
Damn. Yeah,
I'd open Spark Notes and be like, oh, that's so much reading, even though it was cutting it down from like 100 pages. And so we had an environmental science quiz, and it was a pop quiz, so it's not even like we knew it was coming. So I walk into class, and I had not done like the 50 pages of reading, and I was just like, I'm screwed. So I decided, let me have a little fun with this. I'll just like write funny answers since I don't know the answer. And one of the questions, there were multiple questions, and now I'm forgetting them, but I remember the third question was what is a bloat? It's environmental science. It had something to do with something, and I wrote it's a blowjob on a boat, and she was like, you can't write this. You turn this into a teacher, and then she got even more mad because someone asked me what I got on the quiz, and I was like, oh, I got a 0. And they were like, how's that even possible? How do you get a 0 on that? It was like a 10 question quiz, and there was a multiple choice and a true or false. They were like, how do you get a 0? And I was like, I got none of the answers right, and I was just messing around, and I like wrote funny answers there. And they said bullshit. They were like, I don't believe you. And then I showed it to them, and they were like, oh shit. And then he showed it to like 30 other kids. And then the next day, she came into class, and she was like, I was gonna let this like slide and not think that you'd like learn from it. But then I heard you were passing it around because all the girls on my softball team were talking about this quiz and the answers you'd had. And I was like, I'm sorry, someone else took it. And yeah, she didn't really care. Oh man, I had a funny pun, the question before that. And she wrote, ha ha ha, I wish I fucking remembered what it was. Said, ha ha ha, not true, but you made me laugh. And then the next question was bloat. And she was like, you turned this into a teacher. And it's like a bunch of red markings and Xing it out. Oh man, this is going to bug me if I can't remember what that question was. It had something to do with cows.
Oh, I love cows.
I remember. It said, what does ruminant mean as it pertains to cows? And I said, it means the cow is hungry and there is room in its stomach.
Oh,
and
that's
she was like, it's so funny because you could see her thought process because she wrote like, ha ha ha, wrong, but you made me laugh. And then the next question is blowjob on a boat. And she was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
This dude's going to grow up to be a misogynist.
Yeah.
A man explainer dude.
No, it was more like, this dude is an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she didn't like my older brother even going into that class. And within the same week of turning in that quiz, I had her as a teacher in 2 different classes. And she caught me plagiarizing in the other class. So I was on her shit list. And then Jamie, I guess like 4 years later, was in her class. And I was like, in advance, I was like, sorry. Because she like saw the name and was like, Jamie, are your siblings... Reese and Tyler? And he was like, yeah. She just like shook her head. And he was like, what did I do? What did they do? And then we explained, and he was like, oh, that's fair.
Yeah, dude. When you have to get a teacher again that you didn't really like, or they teach like multiple classes, that really sucks. we had this teacher in 3rd grade, Miss Reed, who like now that I'm older, I realize she had a hard time getting men. And that's why she was really mean to all the boys in class. So like 3rd grade, we thought the hell was over. And then she moved to 6th grade. And,
so you like
and
you jumped her and then she jumped ahead of you.
Yeah, and so I got her again. And I was like, fuck. And it was the worst. And like my one friend, Jamie, like we knew she was like sexually frustrated, and I don't know where he got a condom, but he put a condom on her desk.
This is 6th grade.
Yeah. I didn't like go like I went to a pretty naughty school. Like
where did you go?
So like North Penn.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but like so Penndale was like the naughty of the middle schools. Inglewood was like the naughtiest of the elementary schools, and like we just had just rowdy kids. They didn't give a fuck. I still today wonder where Jamie got this condom, because at that point I didn't even know what a condom was.
Do you have to be a certain age to buy a condom?
I don't think so. I think you just need to grow the balls to do it.
I mean, that means he had the foresight. He's like, I'm going to put a condom on my teacher's desk. So let me get my allowance and my chore money and my summer job money, bring it to a CVS, buy a 12-pack that I'm never going to use, and then put one of them on my teacher's. Yeah, that's like I went to private Quaker school. So
what's Quaker mean?
It's a religion. So we're not Quaker. No one really is anymore. But like William Penn, who founded Philadelphia, he was a Quaker.
Interesting.
So they were persecuted in Britain, and they came over like in the 1700s. And basically they believe in like being nice. Like that's essentially the religion. It's pretty simple.
Wow.
If I can boil it down as much as possible, it's like being a kind person. So like the whole school was like built in of like be a community, be nice to each other. So there was never like bullying. There was no fights or anything like that at school. There was a lot of like psychological bullying though.
Yeah.
So it was all like talking shit behind people's back or like kind of like being rude or snide to them in person. But that was really the extent of it. Do you consider it bullying? I've had this conversation with multiple people. Do you consider it bullying if the person is unaware of it?
Yeah. Like if you're making fun of someone like secondhandedly and everyone knows except that person, now I think that's bullying.
Okay, then there were a lot of bullies at the school.
Yeah. Well, I think
that's all it ever was.
Yes,
but that's,
psychological bullying is way worse. I just would rather get the shit kicked out of me and we all move on. Because what is it like? Sticks and stones can. Oh, wait, maybe that phrase doesn't really relate to what I'm about to say, but no, wait, sticks
words
and stones
will never hurt me.
Yeah,
That's
so
what it is.
so I don't know, like when you just have all that shit talking behind your back, it really goes into your mental illness, right? And
yeah,
I'd rather
just like we were growing up around like the start of like Facebook and then getting into college like Twitter, and so that's when all that mental illness like got even worse. But yeah, it wasn't.
Did you ever check out Formspring? You know what that is?
That sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, so Formspring was this like...
It's not the Amish pilgrimage Roomspringa.
No, not at all.
Party.
This was like a website that was like, you would make a profile and then just anyone anonymously could go on and just talk shit or say things to you, and you have no idea who's saying it, and like, man, they really go to town,
Yeah, there was that, and then there was this other one where like, I think people like you'd have you wouldn't even do it yourself, but there would be profiles of you. I remember it in college, and people would essentially like rate your attractiveness, your personality.
It Yik Yak?
No, it wasn't. I mean, Yik Yak was another one, but there was one where it would be like you could search your name, and it would be like Bhavik Patel. And then it would say like 30 ratings, 6.4 attractiveness. You'd be like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
Hey, 6.4.
And then there'd be all these anonymous comments, but it was like all tied to you.
Yeah, I know.
So that was why it was different than Yik Yak. You could just be like, so and so's an asshole, and then it would be like 40 upvotes. And you're like,
dude, Yik Yak was a wild time. Like since I went to Penn State and I was like in a frat, like just in frat land, because Yik Yak was like by the radius, and it was just like whatever was happening here. Like they would like kind of like be like, oh, like this girl's a bimbo, but then you would see it came from like your house, and then people would be like,
shit,
yeah, because like just where like the just your location.
I don't remember that about. They pinned it. Yik Yak pinned.
No, like it just was like if you didn't turn off like your location, like you could kind of see where this person tweeted from or Yik Yacked from.
Yeah, where they yacked.
Yeah, where they yacked from.
Yakking all over the place.
Oh man, that app was fucking great. And then you had like Yik Yak jail because you were being too naughty.
I don't know. So I went to college of like like 22 to 2,400, so like 600 a grade.
Dickinson College?
Yeah, Dickinson. But it's the kind of school where like you kind of know everyone, and if you don't, you could just like search them on Facebook, and immediately you see like 40 mutual friends. So when people were calling people out by name individually, everyone knew like who you were talking about. So like versus Penn State, it could sort of be anonymous. You could be like, this frat is a bunch of assholes, and people are like, all right, well, there's 40,000 people here.
I love when people,
but at Dickinson, it's like people were calling out individuals like, oh, okay, this is fucked up. It didn't last long. I remember there was like a 6-month period where everyone was on it. But yeah, talk about bullying. That's all Yik Yak was.
Yeah. No, but I think our world needs bullying. Like, don't you think?
Yeah, to a certain extent, but there's always there's limits to everything.
You're right.
And like
when it
too
turns
much
into
or
a
too
mass
little.
shooting, it's too far.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, even before mass shootings, it's at certain times it's too far. There was a story at my high school. I was a 9th grader, so like me and all my friends were brand new in high school, and a 10th grader came up to us, and he was always like just making jokes and pulling pranks, and he told us that there was a girl in the school who's also a 10th grader, and you can bleep this out, but her name was Brown.
Okay.
And so he told us all this story that her nickname was Brownstain.
Aww.
Because the previous year when they were all in high school and she was a freshman, she got on a table and pooped on it, like pulled her pants down and pooped on it. And I believed it for the next 3 years. Until I found out he had just completely made it up and was just trying to be funny. And a lot of people believed it. But I remember always walking around high school and seeing her and being like, I cannot believe she shows her face in this school. I would never come. I would leave the next day if I shit my pants, let alone stood up on a table in the cafeteria and pooped on it. And then come to find out like years later that he was just being a dick and trying to make people laugh.
Yeah.
And tricked a bunch of 9th graders into believing that this story was true.
Also, like, think about it. If she pooped on the table, she'd probably get expelled, right?
You would think anything would happen.
Yeah.
But we were fucking 14. We were like in our 2nd week of high school, and we're just like, this is what it's like? And she's still at the school? Like, that's wild.
Was she hot, too?
Yeah, she was attractive.
Yeah, so that makes it even more weird,
Yeah.
Like, because at that time, we didn't even know girls pooped. Were you like one of those people who like did like
Not in 9th grade. Maybe like earlier than that. Like,
I didn't figure out like girls pooped until I was in college, man. You would like walk into like the frat bathroom and you just hear like, and like, but all your boys are downstairs and you're like, shit.
That's how you found out.
Yeah.
You saw a girl walk out and you were just like, you just froze.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And what I smelled shouldn't have came out of that girl. That was the problem. And I was
That's
like,
what poop is.
I know, but I always thought they pooped like, just rainbows.
Flowers, yeah.
Flowers. Yeah, that's what they told. Like, just how you were gullible about this girl shitting on the table. Like, I don't know, I always thought they just pooped, perfume.
Yeah, I think the difference is that's a story about one person, and you were like, yep, this is the whole gender. They don't poop, and if they do, it's colorful and beautiful and makes the world better.
Well, to be honest, I never like heard my mom poop or my sister poop, so I just was like, where?
How?
They're sneaky Indian women, And I was just like a dumb child running around. Like, I didn't pay attention to nothing.
Man.
I have all the pooping problems in my family. So, like, my pooping problems come first, and then...
What are the problems? When you say problems?
Yeah, I just, like, poop too much, Like, I be pooping all the time.
Yeah, you be pooping.
And, like, today I pooped too many times because I was too lit last night.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
That's different, though. Like, everyone poops a lot when their stomach's messed up because you were drinking until 4 a.m.
Yeah, and then I got, like, Wawa at a certain point, and...
After that?
Well, on my way to that mic, I got Wawa, and then I drank like four or five like Miller High Lifes there, and just like ooh, and I think it was a coffee too. I got a Monster coffee on the way there.
Monster coffee? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
They make coffee now?
Yeah, and it's not that bad.
What is it? Is it just coffee or is it like Monster?
No, it's Monster brand, but it's just like canned coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there'd be like green syrup and like.
Yeah.
Try to get you even more hype than normal coffee. Like, yeah, I don't really drink coffee, so
really
any coffee will hype me up a lot. I can't imagine a Monster and a coffee. I played. So here's like what caffeine would do to me. I mean, I pulled I don't know like 4 all-nighters in college. Like legit, did not sleep until the next night type of all-nighters, and every single one. There was a couple that I pulled on half a bottle of Coca-Cola.
Wow.
Because that's how much caffeine could affect me. And then a couple times it would be like, 2 cups of coffee. And I'd be like completely fine. Because I'd be like amped. But yeah, it would just like, it would really, it wakes me up a lot. So it's kind of useful if I do need to wake up. It's like, okay, I have caffeine and it'll jolt me.
Do you just sleep really well? Like, how do you like not wake up and drink a cup of Joe?
I don't know. I mean, I think it sort of stems from like watching, like my dad drinks like caffeine all the time and like kind of needs it to function. Was the kind of person that if he hadn't had his caffeine, he was like a menace to be around.
Oh yeah.
Like first thing in the morning, he would like just go down and have like he would keep Coca-Cola in the fridge to get him enough caffeine to then go get coffee.
Wow.
And so I think subconsciously it was like, I don't really want to drink.
Yes.
Or be reliant on something that does that. So basically, like, I mean, doing stand up, I just don't sleep. I sleep like a baby, but then I wake up because I'm like forced to wake up early for like work and stuff. But yeah, there was a couple like years where I was like just, except for the weekends, going on like 6 hours of sleep or sometimes less for multiple nights in a row and just feeling absolutely horrible.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Because like in high school and in college, I'd be, no alarm and I'd sleep like 9-10 hours. So like that's, I think, what I need.
Yeah.
I think I'm like an 8.5 to 9 hour a night person, and I don't get it almost ever.
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly, I mean, I have like massive bags under my eyes. That's why we're wearing the glasses so you can't see them.
And I don't want you guys to see his pretty eyeballs.
Yeah, and that.
You guys will all get too
I don't
turned
want
on.
to put him. I don't want to put Bhavik to shame.
Yeah,
so
please don't. I got these poopy brown eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to poop.
That's what my life revolves around.
Yeah.
It's the same color as my skin too, dude.
Yeah, but there was a story, like, speaking of like how much caffeine would do to me. In college, I played baseball, and when I was a senior, we had our first game of the year, and it was in February.
Okay.
So we're playing in Jersey in February. It is like
cold.
It's very cold. We're like super layered up, and I close our second game of a doubleheader. So the sun is down. So the one thing that was giving us a little bit of warmth is gone, and I pitched the last inning. And so it's absolutely freezing, and I have like poor circulation, so I could never feel my hands in weather like that. I always hated to pitch in it, and so they call me in out of the bullpen to pitch the last inning, and my hands are freezing, and so I was like, all right, I'll chug a Red Bull to like amp myself up, because like you see fucking in movies and like closers do it. So I drank like most of a Red Bull. And I go in and I'm like so like shaky and antsy, and on top of that it's cold, so I already can't like grip the ball properly, and I have no idea where it's going. It's sailing all over the place. I walk the bases loaded, and then I get the next three guys out, and so we won, and it wasn't really an issue. But afterwards, our coach was like, "What the fuck? Like, why do you walking the bases loaded in the last inning?" So we ended up winning, but I was just like, I'm never drinking like caffeine before another outing, unless it was like in the morning or like a Red Bull. Like, we'd play double headers, so it'd go from like 12 to 6. So I might drink something at the beginning, but I was like about to go in the game, and I'm like, let's do this. Spike the Red Bull and run in, and then had no idea where the ball was going, and luckily we got a win. So.
I love that. What's your you're the pitcher, right?
Yeah, I was mostly a relief pitcher. I had a couple spot starts in college. So, yeah.
What's your favorite kind of ball to throw? Like your best ball?
Yeah, like? Spoken like someone who doesn't know much about baseball.
Hey, man, cricket dog. I'm over here on the cricket squad.
On the cricket side. I mean, in high school, it was a change-up. That was like my best pitch.
That's the one that goes like, shh, right?
Yeah, kind of like dives
dips down
in. Like, I'm a righty, so it kind of like falls that way.
Yeah.
But in college, I threw like 80% just two-seam fastballs. So you throw it as hard as you can, and you just run it inside to righties and outside to lefties. So like in the summers, in college you play metal, but in the summers we would play wood bat.
Okay.
And I would just run a two-seam in like on people's hands and just like break bats. That was so fun.
Wow.
Because if you get it far enough down the barrel, it's like really weak, and it'll just splinter and shatter.
Wow.
So I remember one time I was pitching summer league in college, and I faced this guy. I was starting. I faced this guy in the first inning. I throw a two-seam fastball right in on his hands. His like the barrel of his bat goes like flying out to the mound. Like it broke. And he spikes it on the ground. And as he's running down, as he gets thrown out, because it was like a ground ball to shortstop, you just hear him running down. He goes, "Fuck! I just bought that bat."
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, don't people get upset?
Wood bats are expensive.
Yeah.
But what's even funnier is then his next at bat, the exact same thing happened, and he just threw his hands up. He was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I broke both of his bats. like back-to-back pitches, essentially back-to-back at bats, and yeah, he was not happy about it. But yeah, they might be. I mean, I would buy cheap ones for that reason, and because I didn't play that much wood bat. But those might be 75 to 100. But like a really nice wood bat might be like 400.
What do they use in the MLB?
They use entirely wood. Yeah.
Man, nice.
Yeah.
Dairy Queen has just got sponsored by MLB.
Really?
Yeah.
What for? What?
I don't know.
Wait, you mean the other way around?
Yeah. Like they're partnering with them this season.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So are there going to be like a bunch of Dairy Queen commercials and stuff?
I think they are,
during
and
the
like
games?
we've already got some like posters with like fucking baseball players and their favorite blizzards, and I'm like, are you guys really eating these? Like,
No, of course not.
I'm like,
No
is this really
chance.
your favorite blizzard, my guy?
It's like whenever you see those commercials with athletes in Subway,
Yeah.
they're like, wow, my favorite is the chicken cheesesteak. It's like dubbed over, and they're like, yeah, you've never eaten this. I just saw something, I think it was last week tonight with John Oliver. There are places where Subway like can't call their food. There was a lawsuit that they couldn't call it bread because there was like actually not that much bread in it.
No, fuck, really?
Yeah,
'Cause
like-
I love Subway.
Yeah, I mean, I've like kind of been up and down one. Like that's the kind of food where it's like it's good in the moment, and then 2 seconds later, you're like, oh, I regret this.
Yeah,
that's
how I feel about
Domino's
Taco
for me
Bell,
too.
Yeah. Oh, Domino's, dude. Oh man, they always hurt my stomach so bad. I have to stop getting the pizza.
But in the moment, I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
actually pretty good. And then as soon as it's gone, I'm like, I regret this already.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. But yeah, you see, like, there's no fucking chance that those players are actually eating it. They're getting paid millions of dollars, so they're like, of course I'll say I eat it. Like that's yeah.
Do you know that one meat company that's like not meat? It's called like free meat or something, bear meat. What is it like? Kim Kardashian just did something with them. Like Impossible Meat is like.
Like for vegan?
Yeah,
stuff?
like it's like a fake meat. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's like really popular. I think it's called Impossible Meat. Maybe that's the company, but they sponsor her and like she was like, "Oh, this is so yummy," and like she was like,
Oh, really?
but they didn't have like a bite out of the sandwich, right?
Really?
Yeah. So then
Oh
social
my
media
God.
went crazy. Maybe I can look it up.
She was like pretend chewing.
Yeah, and
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, there's no fucking chance that. I mean, she probably has like someone that she like hires too.
so like social media went crazy, right? And then they bring her back and they're like, you actually have to eat this. So now she puts it in her mouth but never swallows.
Who is that?
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, like they redid the commercial.
yeah.
Oh my God, that's.
Let's see what she says. Kim. I was about to type Kim Possible.
Also really good.
Yeah, she's hot. Kim Kardashian.
You're a big cartoon guy.
Not really, to be honest. I was maybe in my youth, but it was like.
So you think she's hot because you were like 9 watching the show?
Well, she just like
Is
bad
Kim
at.
Possible the one with the naked mole rat? Was that
Yeah.
Kim Possible?
Well, that was
Yeah.
like her. I think her buddy.
Well, right. Yeah, of course. You weren't attracted to the naked mole rat, I'm assuming. Although.
I mean, I do.
Maybe you were. To each their own.
Bestiality fetish. Yeah, you had like. Yeah, so then she does this again, and then here it is. Beyond Meats. That's what the fuck it is.
Beyond Meat. That
Yeah.
does sound familiar.
Yeah, so like. She's like eating this. Hold on, let's see if I can find a good picture here.
And so she's saying like, "Oh my God, this stuff is so good."
Yeah, here it is, right here. Like.
Oh yeah, it's like a very clean half a sandwich. Like I've actually never seen a more perfect cut than that sandwich. And she's throwing her head back like it's the best food.
Yeah, dude. And then social media went crazy. They're like,
Is there a video of it?
Yeah. Hold on, let's see. If
I guess they've probably tried to get it scrubbed and shit.
Yeah,
But.
let's see if it's on here. If I just. Oh God.
Oh, it's being mocked. Oh yeah, latest controversy is beyond hilarious.
No pun intended. Beyond me. Beyond hilarious.
Yeah. I assume that's why they did that.
Yeah, they're more clever than I am.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's. Wow.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, it's on her.
I
Fucking.
believe so much in the mission of Beyond Meat that I've stepped in to help with my greatest asset, my taste. This
Oh my God.
plant-based meat is not only amazingly delicious, but it's also better for you and better for the planet. It's a simple change that makes a really big difference. And now that I'm Beyond Meat's chief taste consultant, there's never been a better time to go beyond.
Okay, first off, that's the stupidest job title I've
Yeah.
ever heard. But also in that entire probably 45-second clip, at no point did she ever actually put the food. She was like, you'd see it in her hand and you'd see chewing.
Yeah.
But there was never a moment where she even put the food. Like, I mean, she could even chew it and spit it out, like, unless they
I think
really care
there
that
might
much.
have been one scene where I felt like there was some food in her mouth, and that one I felt like she might have just had a trash can over there. Just.
But she didn't actually put it. She might have been
I didn't see
eating-
anything go in there.
She might have been actually eating, like, broccoli.
Yeah.
And just, like, she's like, put that in. She starts chewing. She's like, all right, roll it. So good.
There was like a thing that came out. She was all like, I would eat my own shit if it made me look younger.
Did she really?
Yeah. It was like all over like those like meme pages and shit.
Oh, God.
And it was like if you like shit is just like the leftover of whatever your body absorbed from whatever you ate, right? So like there would not be.
It would just be a cycle, constant shit. You just eat the shit, you shit the shit.
And you wouldn't actually get
eat it
younger.
again.
You'd just be depleting yourself of nutrients. That's why the human centipede didn't work, because the person.
Does it not? I didn't actually see the movie. Does it not work?
No, because what happens is, well, in the movie, like the guy in the.
Do they use science in the movie? That's hilarious.
Yeah, well, what it was is like they connected like your, basically your.
No, I know what it is.
Yeah, they used a little bit of science.
But does it die because you're just shitting in each other's mouths?
Yeah, so like basically the guy at the
God.
end dies because he never gets any nutrients.
Oh, it's fucking
right?
disgusting.
The person in the front gets to eat and shit, so they live the most. And then the person in the middle is just like fucking sad. And like in the movie, the guy in the front kills himself, the guy in the back dies, and then the person in the middle is just left there. Like
How does the person in the middle survive?
Well, she will eventually die as well, but like it just like the guy in the front just killed himself.
Yeah.
And
So she's just stuck to them.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Which position would you want to be in the human centipede?
Obviously first. Because you are both eating real food and getting your ass eaten at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is no other option. Anyone who says anything else is demented. They're like, yeah, I want to be the middle.
I wonder, like, what your tongue be doing the whole time if you're like in the middle or at the very end. Like, do you get to keep your tongue, or do they take?
Man, I really don't want to think about this.
Yeah, that
I'm
movie.
just
like,
picturing it, and it's fucking so gross.
I'm pretty sure the
So
second
disgusting.
human centipede they try to make like a circle.
He's like, all right, let me feed you food. Now close the gap, and now it's just never ending.
Yeah, dude.
Never ending. Never ending.
I could not keep up with that movie. That first one.
What is the point? Why is he doing that?
Just because he's a sick scientist.
Okay.
Yeah, just a freak.
Yeah.
Just a freak of nature, my guy.
Yeah, that is quite, repulsive.
Yeah, I was like, this is.
That movie did pretty well, though, didn't it?
Yeah, because it
People
was
are so
gross,
weird,
dude. Yeah. And it
Was
had
it
a little
scary?
Because
it's supposed to be a horror movie,
Yeah,
right?
like scary in the sense that's like these girls get lost, they go to this house, he roofies them, and the next thing you know, they're in a fucking human centipede. Like that sense, but it's not like Scream, like suspenseful and like that. It's like gross scary.
It's more like like a thriller.
Yeah, it's something, dude. It's like I don't know how someone would come up with that, dog.
No, that doesn't reflect all that well on the writer, who was like, I got a great idea for a movie. And everyone's like, what the hell, Bill? This is horrifying.
And they're like, no. And he's like, I'm just going to go make it myself.
Yeah, fine. And then it makes probably millions of dollars. He was like, I told you there was an
market.
audience for this. There are people that want to watch this.
Dude, it's so foul. Oh. So when did you start getting into comedy?
I mean, my family, my parents watch a bunch of stand-up, so we kind of grew up on it. The special that I remember watching first, I was probably 8 years old, and Jamie even remembers watching the same special, so he would have been 4 and a half.
Okay.
And my mom brought home a VHS of Ellen DeGeneres doing one of her HBO specials. I think it was before she even had the show. And then I remember watching Louis Black, Jon Stewart, Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld. And then my dad even showed us comedy outside of stand-up. I mean, I was probably too young for it, but the Ali G show I remember watching in probably 7th, 8th grade. So I always was just fascinated by it and just loved stand-up to the point that once I got to high school, I would use my money to buy iTunes, Comedy Central 30-minute half-hour specials.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's what I would do. It just nonstop, just buy those. Or when they were showing on Comedy Central, I would just like post up and watch all of them. So like I remember like the Nick Swardson one was one of the first ones I ever watched. The Mike Birbiglia ones, I bought both of those. They're probably back on my iPod Classic, which is somewhere in my apartment. And then, so I would just like buy those. And then I would like literally, I remember watching them like we had free periods in high school.
Yeah.
Did you have those?
Yeah. I mean, like when you got older, like senior year, like, and you didn't have to like to take all the classes because you're basically all graduated.
Yeah. I think we had them even earlier, like as early as your first year in high school.
We might have.
Not as frequent, but you still like had them. But yeah, once I got older, I was like, I had iTunes and my own laptop. I would literally just like watch them during free periods. And my friends also liked stand up. So we would like watch them on the weekends and when we'd go over to each other's houses. So I always knew I was like really fascinated by it.
Yeah.
The first the first time I ever got on stage to try to make people laugh, was we'd always like, me and my friends would actually write shit down.
Right.
Like as a joke or just to kind of experiment with what real stand-ups were doing. So it'd be like situations in class where you're like avoiding getting called on, and you have to like, we'd all like write our own ideas of how you like look up at the ceiling as if that'll distract the teacher. Right. Like, oh no, I'm thinking about this, but you can't call on me because I'm not looking directly at you. So we'd like write all this shit about that, but then didn't do anything with it. We just thought it was fun to like do as a group of like, 6 people. And then when we were seniors, there was like a coffee house, like I guess almost like an open mic. It was almost entirely music. But they like signed me up for it, and they were like, all right, we're going to have you perform all the shit that we've been writing. Yeah. I think maybe just because I liked it the most out of everyone, like they could tell that. So then after school, like I did no preparing. And then after school, I went home and like tried to organize the notes that we had written, and then went to the coffee house, which was at school, and got laughs, but like was so bad at it, like just so bad when you like actually, if you go back and like watch it, because there's like no real jokes. Everyone's just laughing because they're like, oh my God, this is a classmate of ours doing stand up. And then I did it like a handful of times the first couple of years in college. First year was easy because I went to Temple, and then basically didn't perform again for like 5 years. Because I was in college, I was playing baseball. I was in the middle of Pennsylvania. Like there's nowhere to do it out there. And, but I always knew in the back of my mind, I was like, this is, I think, something I really want to do. So then after college, when I came back to Philadelphia, I was like, all right, I talk a big game in my mind about like wanting to pursue this. So like, let's actually fucking do it. So it was the classic, like right after New Year's. I was like, all right, this has been the thing. Well, here's my New Year's resolution. So that was 2017. So it's been about 5 years, but of course the pandemic takes off like legitimately a full year of not performing. Right. So actually like pursuing it, it's been about like 4.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like 2016 and
2016?
End of 2016, I was like working in upstate New York, and I was like, dude, like I don't really like being behind a computer my whole life. And like my senior year of high school, I did a show called Mr. North Penn, and it was like,
were you Mr. North Penn?
Well, it was like a beauty pageant, right?
Okay.
So it was like
and like a talent show.
Yeah. So my talent was like stand up. Like I didn't really have a talent. Like the teachers wanted me to do it because I was like so involved in school and shit, and they were just like, "Oh, Bhav, just do it." You're like, like a fun time. Everyone knows you. So like literally, we were like learning all the dances and shit. And like up to like the last couple weeks, I still didn't have a talent. And I was like, oh, like.
So you hadn't even decided on stand up until that point?
Well, no, I didn't even know I didn't even know what stand up was. I didn't even know what I was doing. Like, so like the week before, like you did, I got a couple buddies together and we wrote roast jokes. Like, so I just went up there and just roasted all the other contestants, and it was more like physical humor. Like, I redid their acts just as me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like so.
Did you know what they were doing beforehand?
Yeah.
You could
so like,
prepare
and then
for it?
you know they set me up last to go because
they knew what you were gonna do.
Yeah, so I could do all their acts. You know what I mean? And like the thing was, it was like the principal said, if you're gonna do this, you have to do all their acts. You can't leave anyone out. And then he was like,
you got to be equitable with your roasting.
Exactly.
You got to make sure you roast everyone real good.
And then it was like, because they were giving me a live mic, and he was like, I had to turn my script into him and everything. Like,
Okay, so they were vetting you a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't just random. And he was like, I'm gonna stand on the side of the stage, and if you start going off the tracks, like I'm just gonna come take you off. So I was like,
okay, so they were prepared that it might not be a smart idea.
Yeah, they were, but it went really well, and I kind of crushed. Like I still have the tape, and it was like an auditorium, like maybe like 1,000 people there, and it was like that was like my first ever stand up. And then I went home and I told my parents, I was like, I think I want to do this, and they're like,
because
no.
North Bend's huge.
Yeah. It was like, and I'm saying
that's a fucking crazy first time is having 1,000 people.
And what I learned was like the rolling laughter, right? Once I got that, like my opener was just like, and I didn't even think about it. I was like, guys, the next 10 minutes is gonna be real awkward or real funny. Like that's what it was, and I got a pop. And then from there, like,
did they know you were doing comedy?
No, like so the audience didn't know what I was gonna do. I actually came out on stage like just with a broom, and I was like sweeping up that last act because he like made a little bit of a mess. And then my boy, I had him dressed up as Spider-Man, like I had a costume, and he like came out with a mic, and he was like, "Oh, it's your turn," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I just like kind of went into it. I had like all the acts like written on my hand in case I like so I didn't forget anyone. So I just knew what their jokes were, but I didn't like. I had to remember everybody, you know.
So did you kind of improv your first time?
Well, no, I had like
you'd prepared.
Yeah, like it was prepared. Like so, since I had like props too. Like my one boy that made the wine company, like he bought like this indoor flying kite that worked on tension. So as long as you pulled it and swing, the kite would fly, and that was like his talent. So I just took a glow stick on a string, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "This ain't talent."
Did you make any jokes about the people? Like,
no, it was strictly
it was
on
really
their act.
about their act.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, I was just redoing their act in a funny way. One kid like played guitar, so then I came out and played guitar, but he was just playing it in the back, like over the speaker. So it's like,
and then looked like you were playing.
Yeah,
so everyone was in on it.
Yeah, everyone was in on it. It was like a good time, but like. When that first laugh came out, I was like, dude, I can literally say anything to you guys and you're gonna laugh. And like,
you said that?
Yeah, okay. Like, dude, I was like, oh, like, so I had a French teacher, Mrs. Seuss, like, she was like cracking up, and I was like, Mrs. Seuss, like, thank you, like, you are giving me such confidence. And at a point, like, I roasted like my math teacher. I was like, oh, Mr. Brewster is so old, he was alive when the dinosaurs were around. And like the spotlight man, like, put the spotlight on him and everything, like.
This is a big production for it. Mine was like there was like a few random like lights put up in almost like our student center.
Yeah.
And there was maybe there was a decent turnout, maybe like 150 people, 100 people, maybe. And but it was so I like printed everything. I like typed it out and printed it. So whenever one of the biggest laughs that I was getting was in between every joke, I wouldn't remember what was coming next, so I would just lean over and like look at it and then like pop back and like that got some laughs. And I mean it was the first attempt, but same thing you were saying, people coming up afterwards and being like, yo, that was funny. Which even in the moment when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh, this isn't even like, that's not what it felt like when I was up there. But having people like say that and then like being the person on stage and having them laugh with you, which was always what I was trying to do, like in class or with friends anyway. Like even now when my friends and I hang out, we're just doing bits the entire time. And so like that's just what I get enjoyment out of. And so I always knew like, and because all the people that I really respected and wanted to be like were comedians. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to do this. And then in 2017 was like, all right, here we go. Let's actually like, so like from the get-go, I was like, from the get-go, I was like prepared to hustle. I was like, we're starting out. And we're going to have, it's going to be very well thought out. Like I had read so many comedian autobiographies and blog posts and listened to so many podcasts. So I knew like what to expect going into it when I was starting of like, oh, this isn't something to half-ass if you want to get to the top level, working, a working comic, which is, the main goal is just to be working. And, if anything bigger than that happens, then that'll be awesome. But like you said, I've just hated working in every job that's not.
Well, I just can't, I'm not like I have the technical skills, but like just communicating with a computer all day makes me depressed.
Yeah.
And it ruins my eyeballs.
I mean, it's proven that it does that.
Yeah. And like I just remember like after that show, like the kid who won Brian, like his mom came up up to me after, and she was like, "You should really pursue this." So like Mrs. Zola like has made this career like it's just this. I just need this
She's
white
who it
lady's
goes back
confidence.
to. Yeah. Not your parents. They don't.
Nah, they were like, "Go
yeah.
become a doctor," and I was like, "I can't. It's too hard." We settled on engineering, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like pessimism or what, but even like in school, like middle school, high school,
Yeah.
you know, people took it so seriously. And I was always just like, what's the point of this really? Like, I'd rather do something that's just like literally it's fun. That's what I like about it. It's fun. You're connecting with people. You make them laugh.
And like the network you can get is like ridiculous with comedy. Like I have like now I'm like meeting people all across the board and everything they do.
Yeah.
Like, I would never have
wild.
gotten that opportunity with just engineering.
Yeah.
Like I did a show at Grape Room one time, and this dude that owns a dispensary in South Philly was like, "I really liked your set. Like I can help you get a medical marijuana card."
Oh my God.
I was like, "Bro, hell yeah." I was like, "I don't really want a medical marijuana card because I don't want the government in my drug problem."
But since you're offering.
Yeah, like I was like, that's like this is such a cool like a network that you can get, you know?
Yeah, you meet so many people doing it. It's just like fun. Yeah, and just like you said, sitting in front of an office. Like even in school, I was always like, I mean, this is in class. Like I was always just trying to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Even if I was getting the answer right, I would still try to do it in a funny way. Like pretty much every time I answered a question in class, I would have this like sly smile on my face of like, I got some things that are brewing back here that sometimes I would let it out, sometimes I wouldn't, to the point that my friends started like challenging me in class to like do things to make people laugh. So for one example, was in our 11th grade history class. We had a little bit of a rowdy, like funny class where everyone was kind of goofy.
Right.
But my friend would always challenge me like before class to do something. So for one, he would be like, all right, you're going to answer a question, but you're going to trail off as you're giving it. So I'm like sitting like next to the teacher and we're answering something about like European history. And I'm just like, well, yeah. So at the start of World War II, that's when it happened. But then you can see that later in there.
Oh, I see. Like kind of.
And she'd be, and the first time she was like, what? Sorry, I didn't hear you. And then I just did it again. And she was just like, all right, we're just going to move on. But like everyone's like cracking up. And I was like, yes, I did it. Like I won.
You still keep in contact with those homies that like, you know, you guys are like kind of like little comedy gang?
My best friends in the world are all from high school. So we had a group of like 5 that still to this, like literally I was hanging out with 2 of them yesterday.
Okay, cool.
And we're going to another one's wedding and all of us are going to be there in a week.
Are they all like eventually down the line, like can they be some of your ghostwriters? You know, like...
I mean,
you want that?
They're not interested in it anymore. They just like to laugh, I think. Like,
okay.
we got a doctor, PhD candidate, someone who just finished grad school and's probably going to work in like the nonprofit world. And then
that motherfucker needs to laugh.
Yeah. No, she's hilarious. Yeah. And then the last one, I don't even know exactly what the job title is, but he works at like a venture capital firm that specializes in weed companies.
Interesting.
So he helps people invest in like startup weed.
Yeah.
I can see that. They're like doing real things and based on like their own interests. But I've stuck with, you know, kind of in the high school mindset a little bit of like, this is all bullshit. Let's just laugh.
Yeah. I mean, like we need to laugh more, I think. You know, people are trying to medicate people more and more. But why don't we medicate them with laughter? Like your doctor should be like, here's a fucking weekend at Helium. Go. You know?
That's what they're going to start prescribing. Yeah. Just tickets to shows.
You know, go have some food, watch some laughs, and tell me how you feel after.
That would be amazing. All right, I'm going to write you a script right here, but you're going to have to take 2 a day. So there's 2 shows on Thursday, 2 shows on Friday. Let me know how you are on Monday.
Yeah. Did you hear
he gets a call like, oh yeah, she died over the weekend.
Like fucking like at daycares, they're giving kids melatonin
for nap time.
Yo,
that's fucked up.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Like so, I went home over the weekend for my mom's birthday, and like my dad and I were just like talking in the morning time. He was like, you know, if you ever have kids, like don't ever send them to daycare. And I was like, this is weird.
Also, there's nowhere else to send them.
Yeah. Well, like Indian people don't believe in like daycare because you know, like your family lives like your parents live with you, so they'll take care of the kids.
I mean, you have to have someone who's not working.
Yeah.
In that instance.
Yeah. But he was like, there's putting kids on melatonin to make them sleep.
Jesus.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Melatonin is. I've done it sometimes. I don't get the best sleep.
Yeah.
I don't wake up refreshed, but I do wake up like, oh, that was fucking sick. That dream was wild.
I was deep.
Yeah. Like I wake up like excited because I had a good dream, but I'm like, I was like so awake in the dream that it feels like I wasn't asleep in real life.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, you were like
but
too active. You were like, I didn't even get any rest because I was doing
yeah, my
too
brain
much
was like fucking vibrating because I was like, I've like one time I like half lucid dreamed where I was like flying.
Yeah.
And I didn't have like full control, but I never do in my dreams. And but I was like able to like levitate and get off the ground and kind of like go around for a little bit. And I woke up and I was just like, first off, I was tired.
Yeah.
But second off, I was like, damn, that was fucking sick. Like, I want to go back and do that again.
No, I agree, dude. There was a point in, like in high school where I would just like sleep for 12 hours at a time because I figured out how to like be conscious in your dream. And
You did?
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
you know, like when you can just like recognize like, oh, I'm dreaming. Nothing's really going to get me right now. Like this is just a dream. So I was like, to just live in that space was like so much cooler, like flying around and shit.
Was this before or after Inception?
I think probably before, dude. Oh.
Wow, OG.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I've had that a couple times where I'm like in the moment I realize this is a dream. And like it's like really cool when you're like, oh, we can just
fuck around.
Yeah. We can like fly, jump up buildings like I don't always have full control, but sometimes I'm like, oh, this is a dream, like especially like scary dreams.
Yeah,
like, oh, this isn't a big deal. Or if it's like a fun dream, it's like, okay, let's like live in this. But then I wake up, I'm like, God, I'm like exhausted. I just fucking ran a marathon out there. Like, I scaled a skyscraper. Now you want me to go to work? Like, please.
I would throw down sometimes like snowboarding so hard in my dreams, and I'd be like, fuck, man, I can't even really do that on the mountain.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, you're coming down a mountain doing like 360s.
Everything.
Twists. Oh, that's pretty sick.
Since I have to like get a new job, I'm like, I've taken a tea break off smoking. And like when you've been getting like fucked up for the last like 3-4 years, getting so high every night, like you don't really dream. So like my dreams have been like smashing real hard and like just all coming back. And I had this one like the other night where like the globe went into like one of those situations where like one person presses a nuclear button and the other person presses a nuclear button, right? And like all the like the nuclear warheads are up in the sky.
This is your dream?
Yeah, this was just in the dream, and I was like just watching from my window, dude. And one of the fucking like bombs like hit my building, man, and it fucking fucked everything up. And I just remember like being on the ground and my body is just mangled. And I was like, fuck, dude, like this is bad.
Yeah, I think I had more scary dreams when I was younger. I don't smoke enough that I like lose dreams. But I've heard people that when they they smoke a lot and then stop, it's like
it all comes
back. It opens up their like third eye essentially. But the first dream I remember like relatively vividly, like I can picture it now. But I was like 3 years old and Godzilla starts like terrorizing this town. And everyone is sprinting this way, and I'm like looking that direction. I have all my dreams in like third person.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, I don't really remember having any first person dreams.
I don't think I've ever. I mean, maybe, but almost every dream I remember was third person, kind of behind. Even if I knew like that's me, and you know. But I'm facing this way, and it's funny because I was a 3-year-old, but I was like a 19-year-old in the dream. Like I was tall, I was the same size as everyone. They're all running this way, and Godzilla's coming towards me. So the camera, like if you can think of it like that, is actually like way above me, and I'm just like looking up, and Godzilla's like smashing people, knocking things over. And in the dream, Godzilla literally picks me up, bites off. I think it was my head, if not my arms, but I'm pretty sure bites off my head. And obviously, because I'm not the person, I'm just like watching this happen and just terrified. And then Godzilla put me down on the train tracks, and as the train comes and runs over me, as it hits me, I wake up and I'd fallen off the bed and I like hit the ground. Yeah, which is one of those crazy things of like, how long was that dream happening? Like, because it timed out perfectly with getting hit by the train
that you fell off the bed.
Right, but it's like, was all of that happening in just the? That's kind of the Inception theory in the movie of like, oh, this is actually, this is like 3 seconds.
Yeah, like
in real life.
Dream state
but I've
is like
fallen
so much
off
quicker.
the bed, train hits me, boom, I wake up.
Yeah, it's so crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Do you meditate at all? Or tried at
it? I've definitely tried. I don't think I'm good at it, but it's something I definitely want to do more as like free time opens up. And I have more time to like, focus on me.
Well, they say you should just do it in the morning. Like there was like a span of like when I was like working at Comedy Cabaret before the pandemic hit. Like I was like meditating for like 6 months, like real good.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like I wasn't like meditating like like I'm the best. You know, I'm a big boy. Like I wasn't giving myself like confident boosters. I was
gonna say, is that meditating?
No, I mean some people will say like a mantra. Like you know what I mean?
I think I kind of think of that as different. I think of that as like specifically affirmations, but you are supposed to just constantly like for like 10 minutes or whatever the time frame is, just constantly repeat and repeat and repeat.
Yeah.
I've done kind of 2 meditations. One might even be more breathing than meditation. So it was like on my Apple Watch, and it's just like it times it out for you. So it's like it'll like let you know when you're breathing in, then it'll like let you know when you're breathing out, then it'll like tell you to hold. So I used to do that before bed for a little, like during the pandemic where you had just so much time to do whatever the hell you wanted. And then whenever I'm having a lot of trouble falling asleep, I haven't actually bought what's it called? I haven't bought the version where you have access to, you know, a whole library of
Yeah, I mean a lot of those meditation apps be like that, right?
Right, but it's so funny. So I actually only have access to one. It's called Calm.
Oh yeah, Calm. Yeah.
But for sleep meditation, I only have one that I can do, and I just alternate. You know, I might only have to do it like once a month or once every 8 weeks, but I'll do the woman's voice, and then I'll be like, I've heard that one. So I'll do the man's voice. And then, so I just alternate, like, but it's whenever I really need to go to bed and I can't, I'll turn it on, and I've never made it to the end.
Wow.
It works. Yeah. But I think what I need, if I start really getting into meditation every day, is I'm going to need guided. My brain is so fucking all over the place, and it'll be hard to calm it on my own.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just have someone tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Which is kind of my approach to like everything. Like when I was playing college baseball, we have workouts. And I'm like, I don't know what to like. Just give me a piece of paper and I'll do whatever's on the piece of paper and I'll kill it. But I've no, you know, same with like eating. Honestly, like diet. Like, I don't know. Just tell me what to eat and I'll eat it. I don't want to have to figure it out on my own.
I agree.
I think
with
I'm
that.
lazy, but
yeah, no, it's not lazy. It's just
or
like
stupid,
you have
or
no
both.
like interest in that. You know, like
Yeah,
the most
that too.
successful people in the world don't really think about like eating, what they wear. You know, like just people are like.
I don't think about that either.
Yeah.
The only problem is I'm not successful, but
You're getting
I got
it.
the not caring part.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
Well, those are just like you only have so much brain capacity in a day, right?
Yeah.
If you're like a battery, like, and just to waste those like percentages on those little like things that really don't matter, like, you know, like that's why I think Dr. Dre just has the same fit. You know, he just has.
Does
like,
he wear the same thing every day?
literally, if you go into his closet, he has like 100 fucking Air Force Ones or whatever his shoe is, 100 black pants, and
Can you pull that up?
Yeah, yeah. But like what I wanted to say about the meditation thing was like the way I used to meditate.
Yeah.
Like,
You said like 6 months you were going at it?
yeah.
Or
So
more?
what you want to do is like for me it was like I was doing it for stand up. So like
Holy shit.
I imagine what it's like sitting in the crowd and watching myself walk up and doing the set. You know?
So you were like almost like visualizing meditation?
Yeah. Like how are you looking? And like now that this brings like your whole performance.
So you like watch you perform.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
And then I like there's a thing that someone says is like I forget who said it, but like it's like you know, like if you do a like to anything, like so if you do a joke and the joke doesn't work, you feel sad, right? Like your body feels sad. The crowd can see it, but if you train yourself to be like, okay, I'm gonna say this joke and I know it's gonna hit and my body is gonna recognize it in a positive way, like the audience can tell like when you're defeated and not defeated, right?
That's like speaking of Philly's Funniest, there's gonna be a bunch of people tonight and on every first round show that they're either really new to comedy or have never done it before.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be shocked that something doesn't work. And you just see the fear in their eyes. Like you just and the audience can tell. It's one of those weird like visceral things of you can just tell if someone's uncomfortable. And with comedy in particular, what you're saying is it's so like the audience doesn't trust you if you have this like nervousness to you.
I took a little break off to from stand up to to put like the first 30 episodes of the podcast together. And the first place I went to do stand up first was like last week. I went to the Delaware, that like the 13th whatever mic, you know?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been there, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was like a chill spot, and like like I went up there with a set I knew was gonna work, But like I'm getting some laughs, and there's like a table of all like older black men and women. They look like they just came from a cookout. You know, they were having a rowdy time, and they're already laughing. But like now my leg is shaking because I'm a little nervous for some reason, and that's like something that just happens when I get nervous. My leg,
especially if you haven't done it in a while.
Yeah,
that's always the worst for me.
And I have this guy laughing, but he sees the leg shaking, and then it was just like he was like done. I was like, "Fuck you, leg." You know, like why are we nervous? We're already doing it. You know, like the last person didn't do too hot. You're already like you're doing well.
He like questioned. He was like, "Wait, why am I laughing if this guy's like nervous with what he's saying?"
Exactly. And like, but yeah, like. So I would do that meditation because it's like something about like if you think about how like the body is going to react, like let the body already know like this is coming and this is how it should be. Don't fucking start switching it over into uncertainty, you know?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I was listening to a podcast like last week, and the comedian on it was saying like if there's ever a moment like that, they just voice it out loud. They're like, "You're nervous right now." And just telling it to themselves make them like, oh, I am nervous. Like this isn't like I can like they can calm themselves just by doing that. But yeah, I completely. Do you still meditate?
So I need to get back onto it because like now like with the open mics, especially in Philly, like they're all different situations. So it's like I feel a little bit better that if I can just imagine what I'm gonna look like going up there.
And do you have to picture yourself on that particular stage? It can't be like a generic stage that anyone.
Yeah, because you know like. All the stages are a little different.
Yeah.
So,
you like need to pick yourself in that room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does it look like from the moment, like moments before your name is even called, right? Because now, like, you can kind of recognize who, like, if you know comedy, you can kind of recognize who's coming next on stage, right? If you're like just looking around the room, this guy's finishing his set. All right, who's up next? And then you kind of tell, like, all right, like this, what is this guy in the corner doing? Why is he acting all fidgety? You know, if that momentum switches as soon as your name is called, like you were nervous. So like, you kind of have like, for me, it's like, all right, you have to, when you walk in the venue, like it starts then, like, what do you look like from when you walk in the venue? And then after your set, it doesn't matter after your set. But
this is good to have before my Philly's Funniest.
Yeah.
I'm getting very zen right now.
That's what happens when you have Brown Daddy, you know? He's like a guru.
Yeah, did you like meditate when you were younger?
No, they didn't really put any type of, like, my mom tried to make me go to like the Indian temple when I first bought like a sweatshirt with a skull on it. But
she was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
He's turning.
But it just said like fearless, and there was a little skull on it. You know, I was like a little emo kid. I like
trying to be badass.
Yeah, like I listened to like fucking like, you know, like rock music, heavy metal. I skateboarded. You know, I was like, this is just a cool shirt. And she's like, no. But no, they never really forced anything on me. And to be honest, I like strayed away from Indian culture in the beginning of my life because I had a lot of white friends, but like Hinduism is hard to grasp as a young child because it's so abstract, right? At least with like Christianity or something, like Jesus is a human.
Yeah.
But like this is like, it's just so abstract that you're like, what is this? Like Pokemon? Like that's the joke. Like, you know, just trying to catch them all. So it's like...
Wait, is that a joke of yours? Or that's like a...
It's just like a general joke that Indian people, comedians have made. Like I've done it, but like, you know, it like... when you start bashing Hinduism like that, it's just like... You got to think about the audience now. Like
it's also like, I mean, personally, I think every religion's pretty stupid.
It is, but like I don't want to make a billion Indian people mad up front because I'm like, I kind of want them in my fan base because that's a billion people.
Yeah, more than.
Exactly.
More than.
So I was like, let me not trash Hinduism or any religions. Like I can give my own opinion on it, but like, I don't really want to play that game anymore, you know?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can figure out what Dr. Dre wears. Did we already skip this? Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, it helps when you're a billionaire, but I'd love Dr. Dre's advice.
This was like his thing, like since the very beginning, though. Like since I don't think he.
I mean, I love that. That's why I've like started wearing just like right today, just kind of plain T-shirts and, you know, it's either that or like, you know, showing some love for like the Eagles, Phillies, Sixers. There's some pretty cool like Sixers design shirts.
There's a documentary with Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine on like HBO or something. And
oh, really?
I think it will show you in there. They talk about.
I mean, you can see in that like closet.
Yeah, those are just his shoes. But if you go into his actual closet, it's just all black. I mean, that's why I created merch. Like, I created all these shirts because I was like, what do I want? Like, I don't want to think about what I'm wearing on stage, but I don't want it just to be blank. Like, you're also like a market, right? Like, we're marketing.
Is this?
Stuff.
That's not.
Yeah, so this is like.
Oh, it is it?
Yeah, like so this is the first.
What's it
like
say?
it just says "Feed Me,"
Feed
like
me.
in the background is a bunch of like Indian franchises, like all like the typical like Dairy Queen. What else is in here?
So you
Dunkin'
made that
Donuts. Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts, Pizza Hut, Starbucks, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell,
Yeah, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. They don't have to necessarily be like Indian franchises.
Do you have multiple shirts like that?
Yeah, so I mean, like here's another one up here. This is like the animal shirt, you know. This is the Cookie Monster shirt.
So all of these you made?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I think I have like 9, and I'm working on season 2 to drop with the podcast in November. Nice. You know what I mean? So now I don't have to think about what I wear on stage. Just grab a shirt that you made. This is your brand, and move on with your life.
Yeah, and then if anyone comes up and is like, "Yo, that shirt is sick," you're like, I can sell it to you.
Exactly. That's what I was like. I put in like that whatever, like the 60 hours up front to kind of get it done, and then now I don't have to think anymore. You know, it's just like grab a fucking t-shirt and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I barely think my my method of dressing is, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit OCD, but when I do laundry and I fold everything, I put it underneath where the rest of it. So like I have 3 stacks of shirts.
Sure.
There's long sleeve tees. Well, there's more than 3.
You fold all your shirts?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's one of the chores that I love to do. I like doing the dishes by hand and I like folding laundry.
Why not hang your shirts though?
Just like t-shirts?
Yeah.
I don't know. That never occurred to me.
Do you hang anything in your closet?
Like button-ups.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Button-ups and jackets.
Yeah. I try to hang as much shit as possible.
I mean, it is. Yeah. Sometimes things get wrinkly and it is annoying, especially if I don't fold it immediately, which I always try to. Then it's just like it comes out of the dryer and it's just in a lump.
Yeah.
But
you see my bed right now. It just has a bunch of fucking washed clothes.
So, yeah, exactly. But that's classic, and I do try to avoid that, but it's sometimes hard to avoid.
It's hard.
Like, you do the laundry and you're like, I'll get to it later.
Yeah.
But an example is I'll have one of the stacks in the dresser is specifically shirts with nothing, like this shirt.
Yeah.
Shirts with no logos. They're just plain shirts. So I'll do laundry once every week or once every 2 weeks. So there'll be like 6 shirts. I wash them. I fold them. They go underneath the other shirts.
Right.
So the way that I pick out what I'm going to wear is what is on top.
I love that.
Well, I've had people tell me like, "Oh, those colors don't match." I'm like, "Well, I don't. It was on top, so
dude, I don't even give a fuck about.
I don't understand what matches, so I don't know how to."
I like wearing mixed match. Yeah.
So I have there's like a polo one that's really mainly for work. I'll have like sports ones, plain ones, long sleeve ones. And it's just like, what is the weather? Sometimes I don't even check. Like yesterday, I just wore a t-shirt and then it started raining. I was like, all right, but it's literally just what is on top, and then it's what's on top for the boxers, then it's what's on top for the jeans mainly if I'm like going out, and then the socks are in a pile, but I try to pick off the top too.
Yeah,
it's this weird thing about like wanting to wear everything like the same amount so that like a certain shirt doesn't get worn out.
Yeah, and like go through the wash so many times, and now it's just like raggedy and all that. I got that.
And since I don't like mix things up or really pay attention to what I'm putting on, it's a way to like not wear the same shirt every time. Because then if I just wore a shirt and put it back on top, it'd just be nonstop. So I think it's a weird method. I've heard people tell me it's weird, but it's literally just the jeans are on top, what shirt is on top, that's my outfit for the day. So this shirt was on top of the pile, and that's why I'm wearing it tonight.
No, I like that. Like just mix it all up, and I don't care about I like actually things that don't match. Like that's my swagger. Like the more it doesn't match, the better. Like
that's funny because I feel like people that like know fashion would be like, that's not swagger.
Yeah.
Well,
if you think about the most like fun people on this planet wear the most outrageous fits, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Only on stage, like I don't like. I have my friends say like my closet is like a closet of occasions. It's not like everyday outfits. Like I have like 20 like fun shirts, and they're just all for fun times.
Yeah.
But I can't wear those on stage because I feel like people get distracted.
There's a little bit of that for me. Like I've worn like button-ups and I don't know if or quarter zips. I was gonna say polos, but not really polos, but like quarter zips on stage, and I think it like gives people I mean, I'll acknowledge I am like a preppy looking rich white person. And so if I play into that, then it just like even heightens that more. So I'm like, let me just come in like a blank slate and try to win you over with it just as generic a look as possible.
That's the same thing with me. I was like, I don't want to come in out there too outrageous and then have shitty material, and then they're like, what is this kid? What is going on here? You know?
But I feel like you can pull off outrageous. Like if I was like wearing one of those like t-shirts, people would be like, this is so fake.
When I get a little bit more clout,
I feel like you like have that like attitude and like demeanor where people are like, that makes sense given who he is, that he would wear that.
When I get a little bit more clout, I'm gonna start embarking back down into the button downs. But like for now, like I don't like a blank slate, right? Just like that's why the logos on all these are pretty simple, except the Feed Me shirt. But the rest of them are just like
animals and shit. But like that's cool. I just feel like if I walked out there in that, I just look like
these
such
are all
a
the
phony.
backs. You know, like these are the backs of the shirts. The
fronts,
really? Yeah, the fronts are just smiley faces, like good times.
Oh,
yeah. So the fronts are very simple. And I
feel like that could be the front of a shirt.
It could, but that's why I said like since I wear these on stage, I didn't want them to be like too like, oh, what's going on in that shirt?
Yeah.
Well, if we just keep it on the back, then it's like okay.
Unless you were to address it, but then you like have to have a joke about the shirt, and it's like, let me just.
And I'm not that funny where I can make a joke about a shirt.
The simplest thing, yeah. You just walk out. I didn't meditate about this. Fuck. You just take the shirt off.
Yeah.
You're like,
start like
this is me now.
Just start flexing my titties like Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Do you have this skill? Look at my chest.
Oh wow, you like can actually do it.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh shit. No, I cannot do that.
I worked on this all 9th grade.
How? What do you do to work on that?
You have to focus. I just would stare at my girl. She was just sitting right across the desk in geometry class, and it wasn't even like I was staring at her to like do it. I just needed something to focus on.
Right.
She was just sitting there, and I just. And then one day it just started happening.
What are you doing? Like
you're just flexing your pecs, just the way you flex your bicep. There's a muscle there.
But how do you do one at a time?
Yeah, like you know how some people can move their ears, you know? Yeah, exactly. You have to like focus on it to get it, and like you got to figure this out.
I can do ears. Pretty much everyone in my family can do ears,
and
then also watch my scalp. Like you like move your hair like back and forth.
Am I not doing that? I feel like you're just crunchy. Oh, wow.
Yeah, your hair was going like this.
Yeah. Can you make a clover with your tongue? Is that? No, some people can make like a 3-leaf clover.
Oh no! Oh, like it's almost like your tongue goes like that.
No, it goes like kind of like. They can like literally make the.
I've seen it, but no, I can do the circle, which apparently some people can't
What's
do.
the circle?
Yeah, I know people that can't do that, and then. Wait, what's the other? Can you do the 3?
No, I can't do it.
Okay.
I just always found it so crazy.
Yeah, people. When you like look at them, you're like, how do you? You're like an alien.
Yeah.
Because they're. Yeah. No. I look like an idiot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna crop that video and just put it on loop and masturbate to it.
Oh Jesus.
Just kidding. That went too far.
I'm glad I can provide you some.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Summer's just around the corner. You know what I love about summer? That all the white bitches be tanning all the time.
Tanning?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't tan.
Yeah, like tell me about this. Like, why do white people love tanning so much, but the sun is your enemy?
Destroying us?
Yeah.
I think it's because white is not as attractive. Like it's especially in the summer. It's kind of. I mean, my white is just like translucent. That's a good question. I think there is some weird. Yeah, like.
Like, okay, so I went down to the gym today to work off this hangover.
Physiological, yeah.
And I just, the whole fucking courtyard, it's just like all white people just literally lined up next to each other. And I was like, this is what you're spending your midday doing?
There is a thing about like going out in public in the open and being super white that is kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
This is spoken from someone who is nothing but white. Like
what do you mean? Like off, like what is?
Because it just like looks like you've been inside for so long.
Oh,
like if you go to the beach and you're like if you're wearing a bikini or you're just wearing swim trunks. I mean, there's pictures of me where my stomach is like reflecting the light back at the camera. But I'm someone who I cannot tan.
Yeah.
Like you can see I freckle a little bit, and then besides that I just burn.
Oh,
like I don't get that like nice like base tan. But yeah, I think so. There's something about that of like if you're going to be out in public and it's the summer and you're showing more skin, if it's really white, it's kind of strange. I think that it's like, it's just like it's like the winter white. You take off a shirt in the winter and you're like, whoa, you have not seen the sun in a long time. But
white people love my winter shade. My winter my winter shade is like
it's their summer shade.
It's what they fucking dream of
in the summer. Yeah.
Right. But in the summer, I like to get as dark as I can. Like I can get like black.
Do you wear sunscreen?
I do now. In my youth, I was just like, oh, I'm colored. I don't need sunscreen.
Well, I've heard a lot of people of color say that they didn't need it when they were younger, and now they get burned. I don't know if it's because there's like less ozone or what, but like they actually will like do what I do, which is like get red and peel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the first time I started peeling, I was like, what the fuck?
When did it happen?
Sometime like in college.
So you'd never worn sunscreen until college?
Yeah.
And you'd never peeled before?
Yeah. But the thing is like I started wearing sunscreen because like sunscreen doesn't help you like not tan. It's just like protecting your skin from like skin cancer and shit like that.
I think it also... The more sunscreen you wear, the less dark you're gonna get because it's blocking the UV rays from getting in.
Yeah, that might be something. But my girlfriend always just says like, Bob, you're gonna get tan. Just like we don't need you getting skin cancer or shit like that.
I guess here's a big difference. What are you wearing? SPF?
I don't know. Maybe like she puts like 80 on me or less than 80. Is that a number?
80's. That's like what I wear.
Yeah, like I mean like. When I go out into the sun and like, I'm at the beach, like I'm not putting on a shirt for the whole weekend. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna try to get as black as possible, get myself as much.
Do you re-lather?
Yeah, sometimes, but like, cause I like to play in the water and shit. So,
I mean, I'm like 30's like a little low.
Maybe. Like, I don't even know the number, dude.
Okay.
I just
you just whatever she gives you.
Whatever.
It's probably like 15.
Yeah.
Which is like if I was wearing that, I might as well be not wearing anything. Yeah. I mean, I wear. I just recently I've been using 30 because I accidentally bought it because it was right next to a 50 and I just grabbed all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the higher it is, the less sunlight that's getting in, so you don't quite get as dark. But also, as I said, I don't get dark, period. Yeah. So I just wear it really high to try to protect my skin.
And that's the most important, Don't get skin cancer, bro. You're white.
Yeah, no, I know.
I don't want you to get skin cancer.
I know. Thank you. And I have freckles, so I'm like, it'll develop if anything starts looking a little weird.
My favorite thing to do is get as black as possible. So when I take off my clothes, it's like I have this like white butt.
Oh,
you know what I mean? But like my dick is dark, my body is dark, but just like just my butt and just like up to here is just like white.
It's this weird,
It's kind of cute.
Yeah, I will have. I mean, like even right now, I probably have like a difference in color.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
a little bit. But
now I can see what your real pasty side.
This is like pasty white.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you should see down there. It's see-through sometimes.
Translucent.
I'm very white. Yeah,
I can see right through you, Tyler.
You can. I know.
Do you ever plan about getting a Tesla in your life?
I would love to drive a Tesla. Yeah. Wait, why? Where does that come from?
I'll show you.
Oh, is it a see-through Tesla?
No, okay. It's better. It's better than a see-through Tesla, my dog.
Yeah, I mean, I think that to make, to like reverse climate change or anything like that, it needs to be policy. So like the fact that I drive a Prius in the grand scheme isn't really doing anything.
Yeah.
But also for the same reason for the Tesla, like a little bit psychological of like, oh yeah, I'm doing the right thing. But also like when I'm driving a Prius, I fill up like once a month.
Oh, yeah, you do drive a Prius. Yeah. Yo, check out what I saw.
So it's also just saving me money. I mean, I have a Prius and I'll fill up my tank like every
And it's like one of those Priuses that are like half electric and half gas, or what is it?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't plug it in, but it's a hybrid where like whenever I'm pressing the brake or don't have my...
This Tesla blew up.
Oh, shit. Is someone in there?
No, they got out, I guess, but...
Where is that?
I don't know where it is.
Catching fire and exploding on highway.
Yeah. So I just say this to you. I know you want a Tesla. Just give it a couple more years.
Yeah, no, I'm second guessing that that plan.
Yeah. It's like, maybe a gas car. They're not going to do this.
How the fuck did that even happen?
And like, can we
Don't Teslas have like cameras and shit?
Yeah,
I want to see.
Look at all these people still driving, Tyler. They're like, bro, like this has to be like in Atlanta or California, somewhere where shit
I was
goes
one
down.
time
Or maybe
in
Philly.
in California. Yeah, that's like outside your apartment. It's right now. That's a live feed. I one time was driving in California, and there was like a lot of traffic on one of those major highways that always is horrible traffic. Yeah. But we like come down under this underpass, and there's like a bunch of different roads above us, different highways, zigzagging, and everyone is diverging around the middle lane. Like everyone, it's slowing up, just backing up thousands of cars, hundreds of cars. And then finally I get up there, and there's literally a car in the middle lane of like a 5-lane highway, and it looks like that. It is just like engulfed in flames, and everyone's just like, let me go around it. All right, on my way to work still. Like I'm just commuting, so everyone's just like driving right past it.
Yeah, man. It's like you see
but
something.
it was like it was like that. It was just a ball of fire.
You ever been on like 76 or the Blue Route, and there's like mad traffic, and you're just hoping the person that caused this traffic is dead?
No.
Oh wow. I mean that's just a difference of upbringings. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
There are times, I don't wish they're dead, but like it happened yesterday on 76 where I was driving, ton of traffic. It was really annoying. And then it was just like pure rubbernecking. Like you get to where it is and you're like, okay, what is the big deal? And you look over and just the cop pulled someone over.
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
And I was like, this backed us up like 5 miles. Yeah. Like, what is wrong with you people? And then as soon as you get past it, everyone stops looking and then just drives fast. And I was like, oh, God, that's annoying. Yeah.
Did you hear Nick Cannon's about to have his 9th child?
No.
Yeah.
That's big for him.
I think he's trying to compete with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy has the 10. I'm pretty sure P. Diddy has quite a lot.
Eddie Murphy has 10 kids?
Oh, yeah.
Really? How many does P. Diddy have?
I think P. Diddy is like close to 10. How many?
And then Nick Cannon, this will be his 9th?
Yep. How many kids does P. Diddy have?
I mean, that shows you how much money they all have.
Oh, yeah.
Because one kid is so expensive.
Close to $1 million, I would say, in 2022.
Like,
if you're a good parent, I guess.
Well, I mean, $1 million, that's a great parent right there. I mean, there are people that...
Oh, like, only 5.
Who?
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, there's... I mean, I think about right now, I make just enough to, like, save a little bit of money and live my life. And if you throw anything in whack... If you throw a dog in there, I'd be losing money every month.
You got in a car crash.
A kid in there, it's like, kids are so expensive,
and needy.
Yeah,
and like for me, like if I was gonna have kids, I'd put them to work because like that's what my parents did to me, right? Like that's what
working
at
Dairy
like
Queen.
just they're a utility for your success.
How young were you when you started working?
So we
Dairy
got
Queen?
it in like I think 2007, 2008. So like 7th, 8th grade.
What were you doing before then? Your parents.
Oh, they were just working like labor jobs, like in factories and shit.
So you weren't doing anything with them?
No.
And then they bought it, and you were immediately
employed. The next day.
Did they pay you?
Yeah, just in cash. So I started at like $5 in cash, then $6 in cash, $7. I think I eventually made it up to $8, and now that I'm a full-on engineer, like I just go there and help out. Yeah. Because eventually I learned that this money is gonna come back to me. You know, like when they die.
That's gonna be your Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I think we're thinking about closing it this year.
Really?
Yeah, because, we've done it for 15 years, and since it's in the mall, they only get like 3 days off a year. So, like, whatever's 3 times 15 is like, what, 45? 45 days off in the last 15 years they've had.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
They have to be open?
Yeah, or like the mall tries to like find them and shit.
Oh, my God.
And then...
So what do you get? What do they get? I assume Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Easter. And
that's dumb.
Yeah, and then
and New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and like
And one of them will always be in every single day for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
God damn.
Or like I'll go in, like
right.
You know what I mean?
Does all it need is one person?
Believe it or not, like maybe like Monday through Thursday during like weird hours, but lunchtime you definitely need 2 people when people are coming, like because it's a Plymouth meeting, there's a lot of offices around, so people come
and it's the mall, so people are going to the mall.
Lunchtime, maybe like right around after dinner time, people are coming getting their post dinner desserts.
So there's steady flow.
Yeah, I mean on the weekends, man, like we'll have like a line for like 6 hours.
Jesus.
So
man.
That's why it's kind of hard hiring people, because like a lot of people are soft. Like they're like, oh, I worked 4 hours, I need a break. But like, like my dad and I would just go all day. Like There is no break.
nonstop, just
you can't break, or they get
how
upset.
early do you need to open?
So now
Right, because then people are mad, and then they're like not going to come back, or they're not going to tip, and it's that's all money that could have been
so
yours.
Hours before COVID, it was like 10 a.m. To 9 p.m. Monday.
Is that a 10 a.m. opening or 10 a.m. work starts?
Opening work starts like the store has.
Could someone be there at 10 and be like, all right, I want a Blizzard.
Yeah, the mall opens at 10.
Yeah.
And they could.
So you're in there before 10.
Yeah, maybe like 9:45. You show up, get the shit open.
Okay, so it doesn't take like a huge.
No, it's not like we've got it down to a science now too. You just turn on a couple machines and clean them. Make sure there's no like fucking fruit fly.
Yeah.
Because it's all ice cream and sweets and fucking shit like that. So
the toppings. And whatnot.
Yo, you want to hear something crazy? When we bought the Dairy Queen, it had
it a Dairy Queen before?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like we got a Dairy Queen. Like it was already a Dairy Queen, and the people, I guess, just wanted to do something else. But when we got it, there was so many we would just see cockroaches all the time, right?
Ooh.
And then one day we were just like my dad, me, and one of his buddies that does like a lot of mechanical fun work, just like on machines and shit. We were like we found like. Okay, I think the cockroaches are coming out of the bottom of the soda machine because it's like damp, it makes ice, and we opened it up, dude, and I mean like hundreds. And my dad was like, all right, you get the spray gun and just like fucking...
like a poison spray?
Yeah, and we fucking crushed
Holy
it.
shit.
And
now they're gone?
Yeah, I mean, the mall will always have like mouse, and like, but like that was out, like, I was like, how long have you guys had this Dairy Queen? And this has grown to be this. Like,
yeah.
Like,
and they clearly did nothing. Like
nothing, dude.
Or even open it. It sounds like they weren't even curious enough to be like, what's in here? Oh shit, we should probably take care of that.
And every now and then, like you would see like a cockroach on the counter and shit, and it's just like
that's not good when people are ordering and they're paying you. They're like, oh
yeah, and it was like I was like, no one ever like
go to
got you
Jamba
guys
Juice
for this
instead.
exactly. Yeah, so I mean, it's a cool gig, but I want them to close it because they need some rest.
Jesus.
I want them to go have some fun with the end of their
15
lives.
15 years. That is insane.
Yeah, it's a lot of hours.
Yeah,
a lot of ice cream.
I'm a pussy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I need a day off every other day.
Yeah, same, dude. That's why like now that I'm just like, I look at like how hard my parents have hustled, and I was like, dude, you have no excuse.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, get the podcast done, get the editing done, get the stand up done. Like, there is time.
Yeah, I mean, that's like my mom growing up. It was like 4 young kids in a house.
Yeah.
And she was like a school teacher. And granted, she had my grandparents to like help her out financially, but it's still like 4 kids on essentially like what I make now.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not even the money thing, it's just the energy thing, right?
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
It was just like how much time it takes to just this person has that obligation at that place. These 2 are over here at a different thing.
Yeah.
This one's going to be home alone and just basically until we were in college. So it was
It's
my
a
brother's
lot,
5
dude.
years old, so it's 20 plus years of just constant like cycling through and trying to it's nonstop.
It really shows us how much of pussies we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Respect my mom. But it's also made me be like, oof.
Yeah. Shout out to all the moms out there.
Shout out all the moms.
Dude,
all the
moms
That's
love
what
me.
That's what we're here for, is the moms. But yeah, I don't think I want kids.
Yeah.
Based on this entire conversation, what we've just been talking about.
Either do I. You want to see how much moms love me?
How much moms love you?
Oh yeah.
How are you gonna prove this?
I'm about to show you something good. I have to go a little deep into this Instagram. Did you ever watch Harry Potter? Do you like Harry Potter?
Oh yeah, read all the books, seen all the movies.
Is this sarcasm or serious?
No, serious.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I saw you at the set of all 8.
Yeah. Who is your top 3 favorite characters?
Favorite characters? Oh man. Professor Lupin I liked a lot.
Yeah.
Lupin was kind of a G.
You know, like that phrase he says in the last movie, he's like, it's not the one of the power of one, but the one of one's conviction or something. I don't know what he says, but it was such a cool line. But basically he's saying like, it's not like how many followers you have, it's like how cool you are, like that will really set people straight.
That's what he was saying?
Yeah, but like in his
Interesting
British
take
way.
on that.
Yeah.
Hagrid obviously is kind of a hilarious oaf.
We had a parents' weekend, and all the
awesome.
moms wanted to take a picture with me.
Are you in the middle?
Yeah. That fuck boy in the middle right there. I'm not going to lie. That weekend, some moms had grabbed my ass.
15.
Yeah.
Wow, parents. So this was your last parents' weekend.
And my favorite is Paris weekend, dude.
Wow.
Julian, your mom is still the hottest, dog.
What did you do that they loved you
I
so
just
much?
I just was being a fun time, and then like Bhavik was like going to a party, and I was like, all right,
invited them?
I was like, no, I was like, I have to leave, ladies, and they're like, can we get a picture with you? And then I was like, all right, let's get a picture.
I do, not to that extent, but I do feel like I make good impressions on
parents
moms
love
and
me.
parents. Yeah,
that's what we need to do, like the mom loving tour.
it's not super hard to make moms love you.
It's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lupin, Hagrid.
Hagrid is just like hilarious, and then I don't know. I mean, Fred and George. I think partially because they're like pranksters, they're comedy people, but then also they're like from this big chaotic family, which I related to. But I loved that they didn't take anything seriously.
Right.
No, they were pretty badass too.
Oh yeah.
Like with the Marauders map and
dropping out of school.
they fucking dropped out of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And then started this hilarious, like basically a prank business, just a joke business. So those are the first couple that came to mind of just, like any scene that they were in was like, okay, this is going to be a good scene. Like, let's read the rest of this chapter. Let's get through it.
Do you have a favorite book or movie?
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of
For
Fire.
both.
Yeah, you know what? Like, a lot of you people come on here and say Goblet of Fire is the one, but like to me, like that whole fucking thing was like, we didn't really move on with the timeline of like what's happening with like sure, Voldemort comes back at the end, but this was just like a extravaganza, like.
I mean, for me, as someone who played sports growing up, is super competitive. The Goblet of Fire was like the coolest fucking, like the Triwizard tournament was just, I wish I could do that.
Okay.
Like I loved every Quidditch scene too for the same reason. And so it was just so much like competing, and then you've got to like solve these riddles and puzzles, and
you kind of like the mind games in that one.
It was a little bit of the mind games and the competitiveness. They bring in like different schools. When I was reading the book, I was probably like 4th or 5th grade. Fleur Delacour was super hot in my mind. And then I remember meeting someone. I was like, I think that this is what Fleur like looks. I was in like 5th grade.
Right.
I was like, you're like in my mind. I was like, you are Fleur to me. And yeah, so that book was just it had all the right pieces. Like when they're swimming, like with the what is it, gillyweed?
Yep.
And then he has to take that like egg under the water. All that shit was so cool. You're right, actually. I never thought about it like that. It really doesn't advance.
Yeah, just in the
plot,
last 3 minutes,
except
Voldemort's just like back.
And by the way, Voldemort's back. But it wasn't the rest of this crazy. And then Mad Eye Moody, who actually turns out it's Barty Crouch. Like, all that stuff was yeah. So what's your favorite? If not, because you said everyone says that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the third one, Prisoner of Azkaban, because I like Sirius Black a lot.
Third one's really good.
And then maybe Half-Blood Prince.
That's one of my. That's probably the favorite book. It's also weird because when you were reading it, you're reading it chronologically. So the first one I was in like first grade for.
Right, yeah.
Kindergarten maybe, and I was more so just like listening to my parents read it to my brother, and then like you kind of get older and so like by the time the last one came out, I was like a senior in high school, right? Is that
somewhere
right?
around there? I didn't actually read them until after all the movies came out.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like,
so we were like read it. So my brother, they often came out in the summer, and my brother would always read it.
Yeah,
my older brother was like voracious reader. He would read it in like 2 days, every single book. And then it would be my turn. I'd have to wait until he finished it. Yeah. So then I'd be reading it, and he'd be like, "Oh, do you get to the part where you find out it's Snape?" And I'm like, "Well,
fuck you."
Now I know who the Half-Blood Prince is. But it would, and I'm a slow reader, as I mentioned earlier, so it would take me like weeks to finish it. But we'd always read it pretty much instantly when it came out. Then the books, the movies were a couple years after the books always, but we'd like see it pretty. I've seen a couple on opening night. So yeah, we were pretty big Harry Potter. Not like like crazy geek out, but we really liked the books. And
half of them came out on my
up.
birthday, like November 18th.
Really?
Yeah,
the movies.
Yeah, it was always like that third week right before Thanksgiving.
I was gonna say I do always remember watching over Thanksgiving break.
So that's why I kind of like connected with that.
So you would always see the movie, and then did you see all the movies before you watched the book, or kind of?
Yeah, so basically
dabbling
I was
in it
like, all
as
right,
it-
like let me fucking read the book, and then I started reading book 1, and I hate reading so much, so I started listening to them on audio tape, and then I would just like
I've done that too,
fall
yeah.
asleep while listening to them.
I definitely listen to them. Usually I'd read it first, and then because the audiobook would come out maybe a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then I'd definitely listen to like multiple of the books. I also love the fucking British accent dude that they would have reading it.
Oh yeah.
That dude had no wonder you're falling asleep. It was like a melodic voice.
Like David Attenborough. The
Was
guy that
it?
does no, it was like
Oh,
David
it was like I was gonna
yeah.
say that's crazy if
Yeah.
that's David Attenborough. But yeah, he did it. He did an awesome job with that. But yeah, no, Harry Potter's great.
I love that you like that. What about Dobby?
Dobby's awesome.
Yeah.
Dobby is
He's the
I
goat.
feel like an underrated character.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely.
Sure, he's a little annoying in the Chamber of Secrets, but when he comes into the house and he's getting Harry in trouble, but like at the end he redeems himself.
Yeah, definitely redeems himself.
Yeah.
Also, he's he's a little elf. Like, what do you expect out of him? He's not gonna be like this, this big heroic, making this big gesture kind of character. But no, he was funny. It was like some decent humor in those books. Neville's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, dude. Neville Longbottom grew up to be such a stud too in real life.
Yeah,
he's
he's pretty hot actually.
Yeah, fucking chiseled jaw and shit.
I don't know what he's done since then, but honestly, a lot
Nothing.
of
None of them have to do anything.
No, they really don't.
They only do stuff now because they want to be extra and be like
the ones who really. I mean, a lot of them don't do much. The ones who do are
Hermione.
Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. They like actually still act and
Yeah.
like do other things. But I heard I don't know when, but I think I saw it on Twitter that Draco Malfoy, the guy who played him, is like in a band, and like that's kind of what he does now. He's just like, just kind of chill in this band,
Just like Johnny Depp on tour.
Right? You're like, I got $50 million, so it's not a huge deal, but it's fun, so I do that.
Did you check out like the new Harry Potter's, like the Fantastic Beast and shit?
I saw the first one, and it's kind of like Star Wars, where it's just like
they're overdoing
there's so
it,
many,
dude.
and Marvel.
Yeah,
it's so overdone. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch 40 movies to know every single character
They're making like 8
and all
of these
that.
Fantastic Beast movies.
8
or 8 or 7.
Oh jeez,
Like,
yeah, no.
One just came out.
I think it was the third.
Yeah, like
one,
something
maybe?
like Secrets of Dumbledore, and it was kind of ass.
I've only seen the first one, which was actually pretty good. Although it was a movie about like immigration in the 20s, but which I thought was funny. But no, I haven't seen the second, haven't seen the third, and but I did read the Cursed Child. Have you read that?
No.
No?
No, I don't like I said, I don't really like read too much.
Well, this one's super easy to read because if I remember correctly, it's in like script format.
Okay.
Because it's a play. And it follows one of Harry's kids.
I think it's actually the next movie that it might come out, like the Cursed
I
Child.
would be shocked if they don't turn it into a movie. But that one's actually really good, and it's like a quick read because it's like 120 pages and it's in script form. So it's written like you're reading the script of a play. But one of his kids gets what are the like the time traveling things with the time.
I know what you're talking. It's like the little necklace, right?
Yeah.
That Hermione uses. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, exactly. So he has one of those, and he ends up like going back, and unfortunately, it's like, and Voldemort comes back because of what he does. He like makes some mistake, but it was pretty entertaining.
Dumbass.
And Harry's like 40 in it or something funny like that.
Love that.
Yeah, he's like a dad. He's like just a dad. And the kids are messing around. But yeah, that one I would actually recommend reading The Cursed Child. I think.
Well, maybe I might have to read it because you recommended it, and I don't really read
and it's
books.
super easy. I mean, it's like reading like a
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Not quite that easy, but actually maybe easier. Dr. Seuss is sometimes complicated.
yeah. Now, look, Tyler, we have things to do. You have sets to do. I have sets to do. But before we get out of here, I play this one game with all the guests I have.
Okay.
You have 3 chances to guess this blizzard, and if you get it right, you go on this incredible list of people that know their sweets. And I'll even let you take the sunglasses off, but don't look at the cameras.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. you can show them your eyes. You have 3 guesses, and on the second guess, I'll give you a good hint.
Is it a Pop-Tart blizzard?
Wow, that's actually a good guess. Not it.
No?
Yeah.
There's some. It like looks like some similar.
Pop-Tart is like a very close thing. That's a good guess. I've never had anyone guess that.
Is it one of those combination brands?
No.
No. Okay.
Nah. It's just blank blizzard.
Strawberry shortcake blizzard.
Okay, so that is also an and
Okay.
for your hint, it has the word
Is it a cereal?
cracker in it. And this is not racist. Some people will be like, stop.
I feel like is it likely that I've eaten these things on their own?
Yeah.
They look really familiar, and
Think
I
about
can
it.
taste them.
Cracker.
Yeah.
Cracker?
Are you gonna tell me?
I mean, yeah, if you guess and then you get it wrong.
I'm gonna get it wrong, but I know it's a brand that I've definitely
yeah,
eaten before.
dude, just think about it. Cracker, blank cracker.
Blank cracker.
Come on. And they're colorful and they're fun and
oh man, this is embarrassing because I've definitely eaten these before.
yes, you have. And they come frosted and not frosted
Yeah,
too.
yep.
Come on, blank cracker, dude. You got this.
Can you give me the first letter?
No,
Oh,
it's
fuck.
too obvious. Come on, you got this, Tyler. Give it a good look. Cracker,
Man, I know I've eaten these before.
blank
You
cracker
could buy them
blizzard.
in small packs.
Yeah,
they're
they
always
come in a
at
little carton.
Yep.
Well, the unfrosted ones come in a little carton.
Like at birthday parties and
Yeah,
shit.
you're close, bro. You're close.
Oh man. Oh, this is painful because I know it, and it's escape. It's like on the tip of my tongue and escaping me. I mean, it's not. I know it's not like Club Cracker, but that's all I can think of right now.
No.
I know that's wrong. It's fuck. What are they? I don't know what they're called.
Are you giving up? You're gonna hate yourself if I tell you.
I know I am, but I can't.
You're gonna crash your Prius, dude.
Yeah. I'm trying.
You're allowed to give up. Don't make me.
I know. But the thing is, I know what it is because I recognize them. You said Pop-Tarts was close, but I can't think of something cracker. So, I'm gonna concede. Final answer.
Mm-hmm. Animal cracker.
Fuck! I knew it. Fuck! God damn it. Well,
he doesn't have a sweet tooth like me.
this is where it ends.
Yeah. Well, Tyler, tell him where to find you.
I'm on the socials at Tyler Wolf Comedy. Do stand up in Philly pretty much every night if I'm not out of town. And anything else?
No, man. Guys, this has been a fun time. Now
It has.
I'm gonna go bomb, and hopefully Tyler will go to the second round of Philly's Funniest.
We'll find out.
Yeah, man.
By the
Thanks
time
for
this
coming.
comes out, you will know
Yeah.
whether or not. But yeah, thanks for having me.
No doubt, dude.
Very fun.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Peace.